Hello class, I'm Dave Meisberg, and this is my Module 5. Hope you enjoy it. The summary of the articles, I noticed all had kind of the same theme, or the same ideas. They were all different, but they all kind of talked about vision of schools, the achievement gap was a big one, digital divide, financial concerns. Some of them even mixed in some ideas about changing the role of teachers in classroom, which I guess I am in favor of. My idea about the digital divide, I don't think it will ever truly ever go away. It can be narrowed, and I believe it will be narrowed in the future, but some of the problems I see with the digital divide ever going away is some people just do not value education. Most of us in this class probably do value education because we are educators, and we understand that by taking this class we are expanding our education so we can keep moving up the pay scale and maybe get into positions where we can help make this change. That's kind of how I see the digital divide going. I think the federal government needs to get involved. If we can get electricity to everybody's home, how is it we can't get Wi-Fi to everybody's home? The infrastructure is probably already laid, so maybe we need to just go ahead, bite the bullet, follow it through, and go ahead and get everybody internet to their houses. Kind of like electricity, you gotta have it. What 21st century skills must students have? I think first of all, 21st century students need to have great written and verbal communication. I think you need to be able to work alone or with groups of people. I think collaboration in this day of age is going to be a big skill that employers are going to look for. Thinking critically, problem solving, and I think maybe being able to type and being familiar with some computer systems are some of the things I think 21st century students will need in the future. Impact of global economy is huge in my house. We use everything from Amazon to PayPal to buy, sell, and trade, eBay. We do a lot of online banking. We live in a very rural community, so it's about 30 minutes to the big box stores. So to get together, drive to the big box store, and try to get home is just a hassle. So this makes us more efficient. My son Cooper is a college football player. He got his video up on Huddle and actually ended up getting 2 or 3 or 4 offers to play football for schools in Kansas, and that's what he's doing now. So I'm a big believer of the global economy and internet usage. Saved me a ton of money by him taking that scholarship. If I had the opportunity and it was up to me, I sure would like a training on AI, VR, and the Internet of Things. I had never honestly heard of the Internet of Things until I had taken this class, and now that I've been going home at night and checking it out, I've really learned some really cool things about the Internet of Things. I would also like free web, maybe a tutoring lesson on how to navigate some things in my curriculum to match with things I find on the internet. I can always implement different ideas, but I would like it to almost match my curriculum. That's what my major problem is find things that match exactly. Because with my kids, they don't do real well with change and out of the ordinary things. Is my school 21st century equipped? I would say limited. I work at a psychiatric treatment facility. So the residents there cannot have access to the World Wide Web. We just can't do it. We have to follow HIPAA rules, and they just don't have for safe reasons of safety, we just don't have them have access to the World Wide Web. It's just the policy. It was there when I took the job, and I'm fine with it now. Some days residents are not being safe, and they can't even have wooden pencils. They have to have those stupid plastic pencils. It's just the way it is. Advantages of innovation practices in schools. We are all student-centered, and it allows the students to take ownership of their own education, which in my facility I think is great, because a lot of the times they don't have control over much in their life. So this excuse me, this gives them some control. And they like to create things, they like to present, and they like to show their own projects. The one thing I really do like about it, and I heard this yesterday, was that they find out what works and what doesn't work. So when they find something that does not work, they can go back and recreate it and take out the part they think that the problem was, and then try to get it to work. And when it does work, that's the moment of learning I really like to take part in. I think that's the best part of teaching, is when they go back and they actually get something to work. It gives them a sense of a safe learning environment. It's just, and it improves deeper learning. It gives them a fuller understanding of all the topics we are working on. Disadvantage of innovation? Money. It costs money to do these kinds of things. You're always going to have, you're always going to have unexpected challenges. It's just part of being a teacher, and you just got to roll with it. And sometimes, myself, I have felt overwhelmed by technology when it doesn't work. When it doesn't work, I feel that stress that you feel for like the first time of facing students. And when it doesn't work, it's really a terrible feeling, and you get overwhelmed quick. But when technology works, it's a great feeling. Experiences and problems with cyberbullying. Since we're in a locked facility, there's no outside internet, there's no email, no peer-to-peer communication, so cyberbullying is not an issue for me. Most of my bullying goes on with words or deeds. It's things they do to each other, but usually with the threat of losing the computer as a privilege and having to go back to working paper and pencil, usually gets them to fall right in line, and that's basically the only problems I have with cyberbullying are non-existent, and it's usually just physical bullying. But in my facility, there's just not much bullying going on. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.